dating obviously is very different depending on the culture, and that can get frustrating. See, this is a big thing that a lot of Americans especially don't understand, is if you say, I'm not playing a game, or put it back in them in a respectful way, in a fun way, they like you more. Lots of people, this is the main issue, that they stop doing it or they get really sad, is the loneliness, right? It's the constant switching of people, not being around family, not being around friends. How to cope with it, I think I've only been robbed twice, and then they would get like really sad, and then I'd have some Brazilian friends be like, hey Nick, like, don't be such an asshole. Never fight, ever fights in a foreign country. There's absolutely zero freaking reason to do this.
You are about to embark on a journey, not just through space and time, but through the very fabric of human perception. Imagine a world where the familiar becomes strange, and the strange becomes familiar. A place where the boundaries of reality blur, and the only limit is your imagination. This is a voyage into the heart of the unknown, where every turn reveals a new perspective, and every story challenges what you thought you knew. Welcome to Bold Perceptions, where we explore the myriad ways people see the world and discover that sometimes the most extraordinary adventures lie just beyond the horizon of our own understanding.
Hello, my friends. Mambo from Kenya, the coast. Amazing. So, you want to be a world traveler. You want to be a jet setter, an international playboy, solo travel the world. I get this a lot. A lot of people message me saying, oh, you're living the dream life, and, you know, how do I do this? Or I wish I could do this. And yeah, for the most part, it's amazing. No question about it. But I got about 20 some questions here, kind of going over the real behind it, you know, the stuff that makes you question what the hell you are doing, all the issues. I always say, and I mean, the cliche is the grass is always greener type thing, but in any of these sort of lifestyles, there's highs and there's lows. I think in this one, the highs are exaggerated and the lows are exaggerated, you know, compared to, like, say, you know, a normal life. But yeah, so I'm going to get into it. It's going to help out you, current nomad or future wannabe nomad. So let's get this party started. Look at this. I got the whole setup here. I can sit back a little bit, drink a beer. Okay. How do you cope with the deep loneliness that comes from being a solo traveler? Huge question. Lots of people, this is the main issue, that they stop doing it or they get really sad, is the loneliness, right? It's the constant switching of people, not being around family, not being around friends. How to cope with it? I think some people just tick a little different. I think I'm one of them, but I'm not a sociopath. Like, I need human connection. I need people who actually care about me, and that's rare on the road. You meet very few people that actually do care about you. But so how do I cope? Obviously, I contact my people, make phone calls. You know, thank God for WhatsApp, make international calls with ease. I think meditation is huge for me, to center me. I think routines are massive. So in the morning, first thing I do is affirmations, get my brain right. I think you can create a home-like environment in your head, so not necessarily in the outside external world. And these things help me feel a sense of home, a sense of at peace. But yeah, this stuff is not easy, okay? This is definitely a roller coaster. You definitely get better at it as you do it and experience more and get over things and realize, oh, it wasn't the end of the world. But, oh, another thing, massage, okay? So this is a huge one for, like, releasing oxytocin. It's like a comfort type drug, same drug that gets, or chemical that gets released in your brain when your mother hugs you or when you see an old friend. And the massage does that a lot, you know, especially if they're good, especially if they're professional. You know, like in Thailand, my goodness, you'll come out of there walking on clouds. But, yeah, a lot of people cope in bad ways. You know, you start drinking a lot, you start sleeping around because you're searching for something to fill that void. You have to be very careful because it's a slippery slope, and if you don't have discipline, oh, I've met a lot of people and seen a lot of people go off the deep end very fast. So yeah, I hope that doesn't answer some of the future ones. I remember seeing a couple of these related. What moments have made you question if this nomad lifestyle is really worth it? I think the big thing is like, what are you building? Like, luckily now with the internet, you can build, from wherever you are. Like in the past, you're stuck to one location to build your brick and mortar store or your real estate portfolio. But the internet has opened up the floodgates, which is massive. Before, like, what are you gonna do? Journal and then write a book after? Or it doesn't. And it's still true to this. You don't really feel like you're creating all these memories, these experiences, but is any of it lasting? Is there any end result that comes for it? That's sometimes hard to deal with. But again, I think the internet solves most of those problems. This bull perception solves a crap ton. I really do feel my creative outlet through it, expression, and then you get to look back and, oh wow, this and that. It's like, I didn't do it much my first year traveling. I still have photos, but not nearly as much. And you kind of like forget about those things, But now when you have it recorded or saved or documents, it's beautiful. Like you're like, damn, I did do that, and it all comes back in your brain. So at least journal. If you're not going to create something, at least journal when you're living this nomadic life. And then also you start seeing people you grew up with starting families, okay, or really going down adulthood in quotes. You're thinking, damn, okay, if I have a kid when I want to have a kid, mid 30s, and how old my parents be, and it won't be really the same growing up as I did with my grandparents. So that is, I think, the two difficult parts where you're like, okay, what am I really actually building and creating for the future? How do you handle the inevitable guilt of leaving friends and family behind? I don't know. I'm the type of person that the people that are close to me, I could not see them for a year or 2 years, and when I see them, it's like nothing changed. I think for some of them it is harder, but nowadays with the FaceTime, the WhatsApp, sharing these things, my travels, so they can kind of like participate in it, I don't get it much. I think the guilt comes from missing things, like birthdays or important events. Then it's kind of like, damn, but when you living this kind of lifestyle, it's not like you just flick your fingers and boom, I can go back and then I can go 30 more hours back to where I was, and you kind of go in routes, right? So I was in Europe, okay, I'm gonna go down to Africa now, and it's not like, okay, I can go swoosh to the United States and then go to Asia. Like, you gotta follow routes and plan it out, unless you're just flushed with cash, okay? But still, even if you are, you gotta deal with stupid layovers, time zone changes. Like, traveling fast is not fun at all. I think you lose all your energy, your focus. So yeah, I think the guilt part though, it's definitely with people you care about and missing important things in their life. What's the most dangerous situation you found yourself in while traveling? Okay, I think I've been in many. I've only been robbed twice. One, I was there for a stupid necklace. I told this story on this video, and he stole my necklace. Like, one of the necklaces I didn't even care about, from behind, in front of a lot of people. But I had bags, shopping bags on me, cash, iPhones in Brazil. Like, so he was an idiot. I just kept drinking. Another time was actually in Nairobi. Someone took some money out of my suitcase. I didn't find out who it was. I think it was the maid, because I talked to my guest, and but like 700 euros. So yeah, it stung, but the problem with when they steal out of your place, then you start feeling like, okay, am I really safe here? Do I need to move things, or should I hide stuff? And like, when they interrupt your peaceful little home, that sucks. But dangerous spots, like, I've been to a lot of different slums, favelas, and I don't know. I think I definitely live in a delusional world. So like, I don't really perceive danger, or I'm very aware. So I don't really put myself necessarily in crazy positions. Obviously, in at-risk place, you want to be ducking in and out of shops. You don't want to be staring on your phone. You want to keep an eye on people. Don't let anyone get too close to you. But for the most part, like, I don't know. I think the world is good. 99% of people. Every once in a while, you come across the bad apples, but it's more rare than you think. Trying to think about like getting sick, or knock on wood, nothing too crazy. Getting lost in like hiking adventures, or no, I'm blessed. Probably to a normal person, they would think, holy shit, and have stories for days and be scared, but it doesn't necessarily click in my head, I guess. How do you maintain your sanity when you're constantly on the move? Okay, it's not too hard with the routine. So do your daily morning routine that you would do anywhere in the world, and that will give your body and your brain a sense of home and peace within you, right? Now, if you're really living this nomadic life, I think it hits you every 4-ish months where you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Okay. This is too crazy. This lifestyle is not sustainable. I don't believe it's sustainable unless you're truly crazy, but you get to this point where you're like having these deep thoughts at night, right? And before you do anything super emotional, like based on your emotions, my biggest thing is like, okay, go to sleep. Don't do anything dumb. Don't get hammered. Don't book a ticket. Don't go crazy. And usually when you wake up and you get that, cup of coffee, you're like, God damn, this is a beautiful life, man. I feel so free. I feel so happy and grateful. So yeah, it comes up, like I said, probably once or twice a year, and then you get over it and thank God you're not doing the normal life. And the normal life's not terrible. I don't think I'm built for it. I think there's a question coming up here about that, but yeah, it's the sanity part. You need to tick a little different, or you need to get used to it really fast because some people, when they lose their mind, there's no one here to help them. Mommy and daddy are not gonna get on a plane and get to you in 17 hours. Then you gotta handle it. You gotta figure it out. Okay. Can you talk about a time when the local culture clashed with your personal values? See, I like new cultures, and then when I go there, I like to explore them, try to understand them, see why they do this, why do they do that. So I'm never like offended about how someone, lives their life. I'm more fascinated by it. I do dislike cultures that cannot say no or tell you what the fuck is up. Okay, a lot of Latin countries have a big problem with that, but most of the world, I don't know if they know how to do like normal business or just say it how it is without trying to hurt someone's feelings, it feels like. So that gets very annoying having to deal with that. And then people misunderstanding you. So like what you think is normal might be offensive to another culture. And usually you can get that out of the way, and they're like, oh, he's a foreigner, he doesn't understand. And it's not like they're taking for disrespect, but like a good example is in the northeast of Brazil on the beach with the beach sellers. And normally in places you go, the beach sellers, you just can't even acknowledge their existence, right? Like they'll just annoy you, and if you say hi to them, then they try bringing you down a sales funnel, and it's just. So when I went to the northeast of Brazil at first, I wouldn't acknowledge these people, and then they would get like really, really sad, and then I'd have some Brazilian friends be like, "Hey Nick, like don't be such an asshole. Like just tell them you don't know obrigado." I'm like, "But if I say this, they won't leave me alone." They're like, "No, just try it." So I did it, and it was a kuna matata, right? So I think you have issues on that end with certain cultures, and how they dating obviously is very different depending on the culture, and that can get frustrating. But overall, none of them's clashed with my personal values at all. Have you ever felt exploited or taken advantage of as a traveler? Okay, all the freaking time. All the time. And again, I understand it's a two-way street, especially if you're going to impoverished places, because usually tourists come there and treat it like their personal playground, which I've done. Okay, I try to be respectful, but I can't lie that I like to have fun and spend money, which is good for their economy. But almost everywhere you go, and not everywhere, but they start seeing, an American or a white dude, and it's like, okay, the dollar sign is going off in their eyes, right? So, I mean, a lot of them aren't like intelligent with it, Like there's never been a time where I'm like, damn, I got scammed like that. It's always like, okay, I know what's going on here. We'll play along for a little bit, etc. So, but yeah, I mean, they'll try you and try you. I think maybe there's a question coming up here. Oh no. Yeah, I'll get into like what happened in Brazil, which I felt really backstabbed. I think that's a different question. But taking advantage of, yeah. And I get it though, like there's a lot of suspect people traveling. I think like for now, I'm in Diani Beach, okay? And I think 90% of the women are prostitutes, okay? And there's a bunch of old white dudes here and young girls, and it's like just the economy. It's the business. And I think the girls, I've had conversations with them. It's just like, oh, okay, well, the Mzungu comes here, just wants to travel, and then he's like, no, I don't want to pay for a prostitute, but you have sex with us and then leave us. So why should the girl ask for money? It's like, okay, I can see your points, and You know, I've met a couple girls, talked to them, and you can kind of feel the deadness inside going through those experiences. Again, it's a two-way street, but you just have to put your foot down. Don't be just retarded, and you know you should be fine. And then okay, what's the big deal if it's you pay $2 instead of the local price of 50 cents? Like you're not gonna go broke off that. Again, if you're gonna live somewhere, you can't be the fish though. You understand? Like you need to learn the prices and not get screwed because not only will okay you lose whatever money throughout your stay there, but they don't respect you. See, this is a big thing that a lot of Americans especially don't understand. Is if you say I'm not playing your fucking game or put it back in them in a respectful way, in a fun way, they like you more. Okay, this has happened to me too many times when they realize, oh, okay, this guy is, I'm not going to be able to just take him down, but he's kind of funny, and maybe I like him personally. Like, they respect you. Okay, and that's where you get like the really cool moments where you don't think it's just because I'm going to give him money after this trip or I got to pay for it. Like, no, like they actually want to be your friend and they think you're cool. So that's a big point in this traveling, especially Americans, because everyone's so afraid to say no or like, oh my God, what if they get mad at me and then their friends and Pablo they come after me? No, you have to be not an asshole, not a jerk, but don't put up with stupid stuff. Oh, another thing is don't take things personally too. With that getting taken advantage of, like it's the game. Okay, it is what it is. These people, if they're in tourist hotspots, especially, they've been through the rigor, man. Time and time again, this person comes, that person comes. Maybe they build relationships, they leave, so they get hard inside, right? So like, just because they're treating you one way, it's usually because past situationships, unless they're just a crazy psychotic person. So you can't take things personally at all. That's the biggest thing. Like, don't react. You don't need to react. Don't be stupid. Put your foot down, but don't get emotional and tough guy and never fight ever fights in a foreign country. There's absolutely zero freaking reason to do this. Okay, even if you're with a local girl and you go to the club and local guys are like, ditch the girl. Say, hey, it was a pleasure meeting you, but I'm not fighting over you or anything. Like, this is crazy. Like, I'm serious. There's no point. You're on their turf. Big problems can happen. It's not worth it. There's a million other, if we're talking about girls out there or whatnots, like take anything personal. Anything. Oh, I got one point again on the exploited take advantage of. I got ditched in Portofino. That's a crazy freaking story. I actually met an American girl in Lake Como and or Florence. I forgot. And I was like being nice to her. I wasn't too attracted to her, but she's like, "Hey, I'm solo traveling. Like, I would love to go somewhere with some people." And I'm like, "Okay, hey, why not? Let's go to Portofino. We can split a hotel. Just friends or whatever." And that chick stood me up. She's like, "Hey, I found a boy actually. Like 4 hours after I checked in the hotel, I found a boy, and so I'm not coming anymore. And have fun." I was like, "Okay." I don't know why I put that in this exploited, take advantage of part, but maybe it was supposed to be for a different thing. But yeah, I've been screwed over way too many fucking times to count. Have I screwed other people over? I think, not like crazy evil stuff, but just, you know, tough stuff. What's the most bizarre or unsettling encounter you've had with a stranger? Too many. Too many. I think when it comes to meeting other traveler type people, the weird ones are like the ones you're like, okay, this person actually cannot function in normal society, and they are a sociopathic, crazy motherfucking person. And you'll meet a couple of those on the road where you're just like, oh my god, like you see the crazy in their eye, and like, this dude killed someone before, and 'cause there's a lot of mysterious people, especially solo travelers. Like, why are they doing it? They're either running away from something, they're running towards something, but there's something off in their head. They're living unlike 99% of humans in history, basically, and so yeah, I've met some weird, shady people for the dating thing, and the locals. So when they're meeting the foreigner, in the back of their head, they know, okay, this guy's gonna leave, or he doesn't know anyone in my family or community, so I can like be totally open with him, right? Because if we don't like each other, we don't see each other again. He's not gonna tell anyone. So I think you open up people. This is beautiful and bad, fast, and you get to see like what's inside of them real quick. And I've had not all. I've met many beautiful people on the apps or in dating, but you'll have like every once in a while you'll meet somewhere like, holy crap, you are mentally unstable. You need help. 'Cause they let it all out, especially when you're good at asking questions and having conversation and people feel comfortable with you. Which I like to have those deep conversations like right out the gates. You have to. You don't have much time when you're traveling, right? But I'm just seeing these people. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, I think there is a mental health issue too in our world now with the phones, and it's become more prevalent, I've noticed. But some people are just gone, really gone in the head. And no matter what culture, every culture has got a couple of them. How do you manage the constant goodbyes and farewells with new friends? I just did a reel on this. Definitely check it out. You have to always remember you will never have these magical moments and amazing relationships if you weren't living this life, right? The reason you had this is because you are doing what you are doing, okay? So for you to be like, no, like I want more, I'm going to get sad about it. It's just like, well, the only reason it happened is because you were living this shit, right? And the more you go through it, the more you understand it, the more you internalize that this is like life on fast forward mode, and that you have to just enjoy the moments just like you should in normal life, because your friends are going to die, your friends are going to move away, your friends are going to get married, like just on a longer time period. But here it happens a lot faster. So you learn to really internalize enjoying this moment and don't long for more. What really is meant to happen will freaking happen. Probably out of 100 people I meet, one or two, three, I'll see again, maybe five I'll keep in contact with. And you just chalk it up to like, hey, this was a moment in time, two, free souls in a different part of the world, and the stars aligned, and that's how you have to treat it. Does it suck at the start? Yeah, bro. You start questioning everything, and oh my God, should I just give up everything and camp out here and let it happen? But no, it's usually not the best move, maybe for some. But it's always worked out for me. As long as I don't get sad and mopey about it, I move on and stay positive. Usually something even way better happens down the road. Not just with women, but friendships and life. And so many times I thought, this is the place I want to stay. This is my life. But your life is also going to be different when you're living there. You understand? Like really living there. When you got roots there and you're doing normal life, it's going to be different. You and your relationship might be completely different. Because the mindset, I did a podcast recently with Dejan, and we were discussing this about him meeting someone in Floripa, and this is just random Toronto man who had never been to South America, and now he's free in Floripa, and he met someone beautiful, and oh my God. But that's because like you're in that mindset too. And all of a sudden you switch into normal life mindset, maybe the vibe isn't the same, right? That's a big thing to internalize. Okay, you really start becoming Hakuna Matata, stoic, like cliche, let it be type thing. The Beatles, let it be. Okay. What aspects of your previous stable life do you miss the most? Consistent Wi-Fi and not switching SIM cards is huge. Besides that, I mean, maybe like my own place. But then again, like when I'm staying in a place for too long, I'm excited to leave it, right? I'm excited to go to a new place and be fresh. And I get like bored of the same old places, no matter how nice or how shitty. It's so weird. It's so weird how you get used to a place. And like I've discussed previously, I think I'm able to internalize like a home inside me. I'm able to feel home inside of me, internalized. Yeah, there we go. Maybe that's said better. So I don't miss stable life. I don't think I was ever meant for it. And so why the would I miss it? Obviously, being able to see your family. Okay, that's nice. Maybe speaking the same language. It's been really nice in Kenya actually to speak English. Normally I go to a lot of places that don't. So maybe that, yeah, English speaking, that's nice. I just jumped to the pool and a freaking genius idea came to my head while swimming. So stability. I think internal stability is what I aim for, okay? But external kills me. External makes me feel like life goes super fast. You get on autopilot, the whole Matrix game. Oh, I go to this gas station. Okay, this is my normal cafe. Even on the road. Yeah, I find a good cafe. I like to go there. But if you go to that cafe every damn day, I'm telling you, you slip into autopilot so freaking fast. And autopilot, I'm scared of, okay? I hate autopilot because that's when my life goes like this, it feels like. And it's like your brain shuts off, okay? It knows what it's doing. It knows the operation, and I don't like that feeling. I need new, fresh. So I think my external environment I want different, okay? But internally is where you need to make sure you're stable or you go freaking insane, right? Mental institution. So I don't know if that went with the question, but that was genius. How do you protect yourself from scams and deceit in foreign places? Okay, yeah, study beforehand. So, of course, know if this place is what they're known for, like in Colombia, scopamine, or in Brazil, the motos are going to take your phone. Like, obviously, know that somewhat the neighborhoods. So you're not just walking around lollygagging in a very dangerous place. Other than that, I said before, ducking in and out of stores. That's huge. Like to check your phone. Try not to be too flashy. I like to dress loud. Okay, so I wouldn't recommend that. I always try to confront things too. So if I see someone shady, I'm like, oh, hola, amigo. Yeah, tuto bom, you're good, bien. Shit like that, right? So they're like, why is he talking to me? Like, he should be scared of me. No, no, I put it out in front. And they start trying to get more and more talking. Then I slowly, push them to the side. But just ooze a decent vibe, right? Because if you ooze that vibe, it's like you're protected. A force field. I'm telling you, it's freaking trippy. But don't look scared. Don't look like a wimp. Cliche is okay. Act like you're not, or you're from there, or you know what you're doing. That's important. And then talk to locals. So like if you feel you're in a dangerous situation, like talk to an old lady. Try to talk to her or someone that looks like in a suit that doesn't look like a bad apple. So they see you talking with a local, like, oh, okay, he knows people here, or he's not, just all by himself type of vibe, right? Have you ever regretted selling all of your possessions to travel? No, I sold a decent amount, but I still have a decent amount in storage. I did get really minimalistic for a while. Probably my first couple years traveling, I got really into minimalism. I'm like, damn, I feel so free. Like, why do I need this shit? It doesn't mean anything. I didn't use it or care about it in the year I was gone. Like, what am I doing? Now I'm starting to buy more stuff like memories and like cool souvenirs that I want to have. But yeah, I mean, when you live this travel life, you realize like you don't need all this shit, especially from an American. Okay, we got the consumerism. Okay, we need a bigger TV, bigger house, more cars. We have so much storage business in the USA. People throw a bunch of stuff in storage that they'll never use, they don't care about, but they can't get rid of it. And so yeah, you get that way. Like more other things matter to you, but yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, though. As much as I'm building with Bold Perceptions, my other businesses, is it all just in the magical internet? Like, I want some real stuff, so I'm gonna do more like merchandise, or I want to do the Bold Memoir, like coffee table book. I think this would be the coolest thing ever. And like, I want real stuff, clothing, obviously businesses, homes, real estate. I want to get into foreign real estate, something you can see, feel, and touch. As much as the internet is amazing and it allows you to build, it's like, damn, okay, but I want to see it in the real world, right? That kind of answers the question. Okay. How do you keep your mental health in check when everything is uncertain? Affirmations is unbelievable for me. It's changed my life completely. If you would have told me when I started affirmations that the life I would live after that, I mean, it would be like, what are you talking about? This is like make believe, And I credit a lot of it to the affirmation. Like even to this day, I can't not do it right when I wake up in the morning. And you should, when your brain is in like the half conscious, half sleep or whatever, unconscious type mindset. Because it like digs in there. But I remember I did it the other day. I got really drunk and I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to go to the pool. And I didn't write that day. And that's rare. It's like once or twice a year maybe. Until like the late afternoon, I hadn't written anything. I felt so weird. I didn't even feel like myself. It was, you could say it's a placebo and whatnot, but shit, it's a damn good placebo. And then finally in the nights, I wrote stuff. I'm like, oh, fuck, I feel good again. Okay. Meditation, obviously massive. I've been doing it now for, wow, 12 years. Meditation, it'll get you in a peaceful place. I think I had massage in here too. So we talked about that before. Get your massages, work out. That's massive. Workout. Call family, close friends. That's huge. I try to do that once, every other day, calling someone. My father, I call almost every day. That'll help you keep sane. I think you just go really crazy if you go off the deep end, Partying, womanizing, doing drugs. That's when the big problems start happening. And usually all three of those things lead to danger. So if you don't do those three things, usually you have no danger, just bad luck, right? But it's a real thing, man, because no one really gives a fuck about you on the road. Okay, you'll meet some special people that are like good souls, and but think about yourself too. How many people you're meeting? Do you really like, oh, you're gonna go take a bullet for them? Of course not. Like they got families to feed, they got things on their mind. Doesn't mean you should be an asshole. Doesn't mean you should be a bad person. I don't think you should expect anything in return, but try to put smiles on their face. I try to do it. I'm not perfect, okay, not at all. But yeah, no one gives a fuck about you. Okay, if you're lucky, you meet a couple that you can call up and they'll help you out and so forth. But if the only people that really do, again, if you're lucky, is your family. That's the only people you can actually count on. So it's a lonely road. I walk a lonely road. Green Day, good song. How do you handle the emotional highs and lows of the nomadic lifestyle? You become very stoic. You stop reacting. You realize what part of the roller coaster you are on, because it goes like this a lot of the times. And then mentally, you just stay here. So it's pretty neat. At the start, you go freaking bananas and crazy, and one day you're the king, the next day you're a loser, and no one's there to be there for you, and you're like, holy crap. Because you got to remember, too, a lot of times, there's nothing externally signifying who you are. Okay, no one knows you. No one cares about you. Okay, yeah, you can wear a nice watch. Okay, he has money maybe, but no one has any freaking clue necessarily who you are. So you're starting over every day meeting people, right? So I just think about that mindset. Like you go to your job, people freaking know you, right? They know who you are. Sometimes they put on an image that you take. Okay, you're that guy in the workroom, right? So, or your family knows you. Okay, your friends. Like it's rare that you're not told day in day out who you are as a person. On the road, no, bro. There's no external things telling you who you are. It's just you, your brain, no one else. So that's good and it's bad, right? That means you can be whoever the fuck you want to be. Okay. The other end is like if you don't have internal confidence or know who you are, you will go crazy. You'll lose your freaking mind. Like a great example is you see like a dude, very successful dude. You see these guys, and back home they're a CEO, okay? A big tough guy, and they have all the power, and they're familiar with that environment. All of a sudden they get on the road in a foreign place, and they're like a shell of who they are, a total freaking dork, a dweeb, scared. Oh, Pablo, help me, or what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? It's just, it's fascinating to observe, like, people who don't have like reflection time alone or have gone outside of their comfort zones and environments that tell them who they are. Okay, you find out a lot of different things. One, maybe you hated watching basketball. You're a big Timberwolves fan, but now you leave and you're like, why did I care about this? Like, what does it matter? Or you thought dancing was for queers, and now you start taking salsa classes in Colombia. So yeah, like, when you remove peer pressure, societal expectations, even religious constraints, people are shocked at kind of who is hiding underneath all that. That went totally off a tangent, I think, but that was a good tangent, very intelligent tangent. How do you handle emotional highs and lows? Yeah, bro, it's a freaking roller coaster, and you get used to it. And everything, there's rarely anything that makes me react anymore, which kind of sucks. I kind of miss going through crazy emotions and whatnot. But before, oh yeah, dude, you'd have some rough nights, then you have some ecstasy moments, like. But now I'm a monk, stoic. Oh, at the start, okay, yeah, call people if you're going through the lows. Call your people, go for walks. Good thing I did in Denmark was shoot hoops. There was a basketball court next where I stayed, and I got a basketball and I just put music on and shoot for like a couple hours. That was peaceful. What's the hardest thing about integrating back into society after being on the road for so long? I think it's impossible for me. I mean, not impossible. I can do anything, but fuck, I could not imagine ever, putting back on a mask and going to like a 9 to 5 in an office, or dealing with how was your day? The weather's okay. Like, no, I'm over it, man. I cannot do it. I said it since I was little, so I always knew this was gonna be my life. Was it easy? No. Was it worth it? Fuck yeah. But integrating back there, I think you get the crazy cultural shock. And then whenever I go back home and visit people, Sometimes you feel out of place, sometimes you don't. I don't, because the people I'm close with, it's like nothing changes really, with them and our relationship. Just kind of Hakuna Matata and chill. But once you go through all these different things, see, do, experience, and then, you know, say go back and see people who, haven't done anything or changed, and it's not bad. Okay, if they're happy, they're happy. I mean, how do you relate? It's like it's like you're an alien, you know? The thing is too, why would I even want to what was that question again? Yeah, why do I want to integrate back into society, bro? Look at society right now. Look at all the depression rates and the mental health crisis, the divorce stuff. Like, why would I want to go back into this society? It don't excite me. Maybe now that Trump's back in there, I think the vibe is better, But for some people, it's not. Fuck society. Why do I have to partake in that game and the Matrix and doing all that? I don't need to, and I won't. When I have a family, then it's gonna be different. Difference. I hope I can mix in multiple bases, but I'm gonna have to play the game a little more because now you're responsible for other people who maybe want to play the game and want to be in that type of environment. How do you navigate relationships and dating while being constantly on the move? Well, obviously, normal relationships go out the window, what you're used to. It's a whole different ball game. I talked about this a lot and different things with the roller coaster, with living in the now and appreciate the moments. And if you get more of them, great, but you don't long for more. Try to be a good person. And see, it's a lot harder to do too when you live a life where it's like I'm on time. Like I don't need to put up with your shit. I don't need to be nice. If I don't like this, I'm gonna leave, right? And I like both parts where you don't have to, play a game and waste any of your time and just say, hey, nice to meet you. I wish you the best. But, sometimes you get caught being an asshole, okay? And you think it won't come back to get you, but, it for sure lingers inside of you, 100%. My best advice is like, yeah, just try to be nice, but you don't need to waste your time, right? That's a big thing. And, realize, yes, with the freedom, you can just say, okay, fuck this, fuck that, boom, move on. Hakuna Matata, which is a nice feeling to have. You can leave everything in 30 seconds with that heat quote, but try to put smiles on people's faces, especially people that, that you don't need anything from. This is the best. I think it really shows what kind of person you are. So, like, the doorman over here or, like, the barista, like those type of people, like really try to create a good vibe, and selfishly that makes you feel good when you are coming there. Hey, oh, you look great today, Dean Stobre. Let's have a beautiful day, picna, like just shit like this, and making jokes. Like as much as that makes them happy, dude, you'll feel great. Your vibe increases, so it's a win-win, right? But yeah, relationships, man, very very difficult. Maybe I'll do a whole episode on just that part, but I've talked about it ad nausea. Ad nauseum? Is that how you pronounce that? Ad nauseum? Have you faced any prejudice or discrimination as a traveler? Good. Prejudice. Because the white dude is very much treated well in many parts of the world, which is nice. Again, too, they're like, okay, they see money, so you get treated like a dollar sign, but no, I mean, white people got it pretty nice, my friends. I think I wrote a point there though. What did I discriminate against? Or oh yeah, people talking shit about Americans. Oh my god, you're so stupid, or you don't know anything, and you're fat, uncultured, and then I got to sit them down and try to put it through, especially the Europeans. Okay, I've lived in was it 4 Euro countries now. I'm well versed in the culture of Europe. Okay, and all of a sudden I sit them down and start like actually putting something in their freaking brain, because as much as they love to sit at the cafe and get all philosophical and think they're all smart, like they cannot comprehend the American brain. Okay, they cannot comprehend the American mind. Watch this video, all of a sudden you start explaining things and you can see in their eyes like, oh wow, oh wow. And we're already seeing it now, like where Europe is headed. Like their smug attitude is resulting in the death. I mean, if it's not going to be a museum, maybe it'll be Islamified. So, and I like the Muslim people, but I don't want to live in Europe that is Muslim. I think it would be kind of cool though, because in South Spain, They have the mix between the Christian, the Roman, and the Islamic architecture, and it's wicked, really wicked. But come on, no, Europe is Europe, right? Europa. But yeah, so you get some of that where you get the basic American stereotypes, but I don't get it much because I don't really dress like an American. Um, my accent has gotten really kind of messed up. So people always say like, "Oh, I didn't think you're from USA," you know? So, but no, discrimination. Oh, people are good. Just probably target you more because you're white. How do you maintain your personal hygiene and health while traveling? Routines. Okay, but doctor stuff. Okay, yeah, yeah. So I would get those checkups, the health thing, again, massages, taking vitamins. So here's the thing. I used to love doing all the vitamin stuff. I found Dave Asprey when I think was like 18 years old. So I got in on all those little pills. I had freaking so many of them, supplements and nootropics. But obviously traveling, you can't bring a suitcase full of pills, right? And you don't want to be dependent on that. That's the one thing too. It's like, okay, I need to take 100 pills and then, oh, now I feel good again. So I've limited it down. I take like vitamin D, magnesium, Tangali extract. Use code BOLD15 for 15% off. Great thing. And some like kratom occasionally and oxyracetams, but you have to really limit your stuff. Mix in some vitamin C here and there. But magnesium, vitamin D are the main ones that everyone should be taking, and I love those. So yeah, brush your freaking teeth. Like, it's crazy though. You'll see some like Europeans, especially the British, man. Their teeth are so bad. I had to get a new retainer. Mine broke, so I went to Egypt. Guy made an amazing one for $40. Got it done like within a day. That's the great thing about the healthcare. I mean, anywhere in the world, it's dirt cheap private healthcare. Cheaper than if you have decent insurance in the USA. We all know that little game, right? And yeah, personal hygiene and shower. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I never had an issue with that. Then again, the Brazilians really did teach me, okay, because they shower like 3, 4 times a day. I used to do that when I was young, but now it's twice. Once in the morning, once at night. If I'm swimming and shit, okay, maybe more. But the Brazilians like, hey, we need you to scrub every freaking inch of your body, extra. And so I give the Brazilians credit for that. Like, those people are so freaking hygienic. It's crazy. What's the most soul-crushing moment you've experienced as a nomad? Yeah, for sure. Joe Pessoa last year. When we lost the game and the whole freaking city turned on me, whole world flipped upside down. I thought I found a home, at least for half the year. I was looking at property, looked at like 15 different places. Thought I had some good friends, still do, a couple. But I was like, damn, this is it. Maybe I found paradise, on the beach, year-round good weather, that Brazilian vibe. And when shit hit the fan, you got to see the true color of the Brazilian. Okay, and I'd heard, people getting screwed over in business, especially. I mean, the previous team I was on there didn't pay me, so I was ready for that. But just the switch, like the Brazilian, like they can't tell you no, and then they'll be nice to your face and very backstabby people. And it was like the whole freaking, not the whole world, but like a rug was taken from underneath me. Like, holy shit. And obviously I was sad for a little bit. I was like, what the hell? And I was like, okay, but maybe this, and maybe we can change it, and I can forgive them. And then, but thank God I moved on. Thank the Lord. It always works out. And, but yeah, I think that was the tough part because, I've been on the road for a long time, and I think I was getting to that point where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to start building bases, start, building communities, settling down, getting older. And so I thought I had it all in line. And after one day, boom, I realized that I was living in a totally delusional fairy tale. Maybe if we won, it's different, but, I don't know. You show your true colors like that, and the things I was told and said about me, I was like, okay, no. So that was probably the most soul-crushing. That kind of fucked me up, but I got over it. Okay, how do you make peace with the unpredictability of your lifestyle? The same thing, the stoic, the Hakuna Matata. What's going to happen is going to happen. I do think I can manifest it, and I believe the universe, God, is bringing me on the path that will be best for me. For the most part, I'm always happy. So, I don't think it's unpredictability as long as you're happy, right? And you feel like you're productive and fulfilled. And as long as that's happening, what's wrong with predictability? It spices up life, right? So yeah, that's how I deal with it. Okay, I think this is the last one. How do you ensure you're not just running away from your problems by constantly traveling? Because your problems never leave you, okay? Yes, I see people like do okay, as soon as I land in Italy, all my problems are washed away, right? And even for like, a month or two, for a lot of people, when they move or they travel to where they think is paradise, they do feel different. They feel great and refreshed, but it always comes back, okay? Any of your freaking issues will never be solved by changing location. The issues are always internal. But there is something to say about, okay, instead of living in a suburb in the USA, driving your car everywhere, like you're walking in cobblestone streets in the city center in Europe. Like, I assume that's going to make you, some people, a lot of people, more happy, right? So I think a scenery change, like being by the water, okay, I love, of course, compared to, the far east of Bialystok when the shitty weather, but I love living in Bialystok, and I love being here. So, but the big issues, the internal issues, that's in your brain, and that's never going to be solved by traveling or and many people say it gets amplified. Okay, you're after the initial buzz of the thing, then you get to like really low points with those issues that you didn't deal with and thought they would run away or thought they would be gone after you traveled. But for some people, though, I mean, maybe they want to be around other cultures. I know I met a lot of those type of people who, damn, I never was Finnish. I never felt in. Now I feel alive in Colombia, and this is my home. This is my people. So it just depends. Okay, I don't believe in all the cliches like, oh, you're traveling because you're running away from some shit. Okay, like no, that's cliche. It's nuance to every freaking thing, right? But anyways, I hope you like this little sit down. I gotta go jump back in the pool, drink some more beer. Um, yeah, I think I'll do some more of these. I like it. A lot of good, interesting, beautiful, intelligent information for you. Ciao, ciao.